Hey guys, it's Yuka and it is a scorching hot day today in New York City. So please excuse any facial sheen that you see here. I am very excited about today's video topic, and that's because it's kind of a departure from what I usually talk about in my videos, which, as you know, is DIY decor, crafting, and cooking. But it all goes along the same vein, and today I'm actually going to be talking about luxury goods and a kind of a weird, unconventional way to refurbish a luxury bag. And people actually ask me sometimes, Yuka, it's weird that you are into luxury items because I'm kind of a tree hugger, and I'm always talking about sustainability. So I guess those two worlds, people that are into sustainability and people that are into luxury goods, don't always seem like they mesh. But in reality, I feel like it makes perfect sense because luxury items are things that you will keep for many, many years, as opposed to buying something that may be cheaper, but that you'll tire of or will only keep for a few years. So I think with luxury goods and vintage goods, it's all about refurbishing them, fixing them, anytime that they're broken or they need repair. And that's what this video is about. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to my new Chanel Jumbo Flat Bag. And when I say new, this bag is very far from actually being new. It is secondhand, or possibly even third hand or fourth hand. I bought it from a reseller, a vintage Chanel reseller. And when I got it, it was actually in not great condition, and I'll show you some pictures of it. There was like rubbing, discoloration around the edges, and a lot of wear. So I'm very proud that I was able to refurbish this, and I think you might be kind of weirded out or shocked at the method that I used, but I think it worked really well. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how I did it. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you a few before pictures of my bag. And, it's not terrible. It was actually professionally cleaned before I purchased it, but you can see that there are still some scuffs and rubbing and just dirt, and it just doesn't look as lustrous and beautiful as it should, which actually worked out great for me because that's why I was able to get it for such a great price. But I just wanted to restore it as much as I could to the original condition, and this is the solution that I came up with. Eyeshadow! I know that it may sound very strange, pretty crazy to use eyeshadow on your bags instead of on your eyes, but I did research. I even experimented with so many other mediums, leather paints and leather polishes, and first of all, they were all pretty toxic, so that concerned me, and they also tended to leave a layer. If you paint something or even if you polish it, it leaves a pretty thick layer on top of the leather, and I wasn't really liking that look because I wanted the actual leather to shine through as much as possible. So I tried thinking about the fact that leather is skin and what I could color it with, and the solution that I came up with is eyeshadow. So before you click away, hear me out a little bit and see the results. So I used on my bag a Maybelline Expert Wear eyeshadow, and the color that I used was Nude Glow 40S. And you obviously want to pick an eyeshadow that is as close to your
bag color as possible. But I actually picked something that was a little bit more metallic, and the reason for that was I actually, had always wanted a nude pearl beige Chanel bag, and they're very, very hard to find in that colorway. So I was really happy when I found this nude bag, and then it just occurred to me that I could, customize the color using eyeshadow. So I used a color that was slightly darker than my bag to cover up some of the imperfections, and also it has a pearly shimmer. And then I also used a NYC City Proof 24-hour waterproof eyeshadow stick, and I just used that as kind of like a buffer for some of the lighter areas that I wanted to fill in. And to apply, I just used a makeup brush, a concealer brush, and the last tool that I used was just a clean buffing cloth, a wool buffing cloth, which is actually just one of my dust bags from another bag that I just used. I folded up and used as a buffing cloth. Once you have all of your materials and tools ready, the actual process of restoring your bag using eyeshadow is ridiculously simple, but I will give a few words of caution. Please proceed at your own risk. Obviously, all bags are different, so I'm not saying that this is a foolproof method of coloring your bag. I'm just saying that this worked for me, and I really love the results. So feel free to experiment at your own risk, and definitely start in an area of your bag that is inconspicuous, such as the inside of the bag or the bottom of the bag, and just start with a very light hand, and experiment before you color your whole bag. As you can see, I started in a little corner of the side of my bag so that it's not too visible in case I make a mistake. And I'm just very lightly with my brush and my eyeshadow coloring in each of the little quilts, and I'm just working in an up and down, side to side motion. And you can already see how the eyeshadow is bringing back a lot of the luster of the leather. Now I'm just continuing on to the front of my bag, lightly dusting again with my eyeshadow. And I guess you can't really tell from this angle, but the bag has a lot of dirt marks and just general grunginess, and the eyeshadow is really filling that in, but in a very light manner that doesn't make it look like it's sitting on top of the leather, and it actually is blending into the leather. Here is a bit of a closer look at what I'm talking about. I don't know if you could see, but there are, a lot of dirt particles in the grain of the leather, and the eyeshadow is really covering those up. So next, once you've covered your whole bag with eyeshadow, you're just going to take your clean wool cloth and gently, in a circular motion, just buff around the whole surface of the bag. And the purpose of this is to polish the bag, but also to remove a large portion of the eyeshadow so that it creates a more even coating, and also so that it doesn't rub off on your clothing. And here is the finished product, my restored bag. And I think it looks so much better than it did before. It's got so much more luster and shine, and a lot of the dirty areas got covered up. So I'm very pleased with this, and I hope that you'll try this at home too.